Hello children, I welcome you all to the science class and today we will start with the chapter number 3, that is fiber to fabric. The name of the chapter itself gives you a clear idea that we are going to do the processes which converts the basic fiber to the clothes. Okay, now you all know that human beings need some basic requirements to live. Okay, what are they? First one is air, second one is food, third one is clothing, fourth one is shelter. Okay, so clothing is very important for the humans. Why it is important? Because clothing protects us from external environment. Secondly, clothing helps us to cover our body. Clothing gives us to look smarter, and that is why in different seasons we wear different types of clothes for the protection and to make ourselves comfortable. Similarly, for the different occasion, now we wear different types of clothes. Okay, when we are going to a birthday party, our clothes are different. When we are going to school, our clothes are different. So this way the clothes are being advanced in such a way that it is not only limited to the basic requirement, it is now an essential item for our daily life. If we go to little history about the clothing, early men, when he was wandering from here to there for the search of food, so he was not very much aware of the clothing. Then he started, when he felt the heat, when he felt the rain, when he felt the cold wind, he started covering with the animal skin, with the leaves of the tree, with the bark of the tree. But gradually when he started cultivating the things, he came to know a number of things near around him. From the cotton plants he started making the thread, then he started weaving, and then he made into this way the cloths came into the different fabrics, I should say different fabrics came into its existence. Now different fabrics came into existence and the use of those fabrics also came into knowledge to us by its features. So why we wear the fabrics which keeps us warm in the winter? Because it has more insulation. And why we wear more absorbent clothes in the summer? Because it has more absorbance. So this chapter will tell you the different types of fibers from which we make different types of fabric, and from that fabric we make different types of dresses, and how we make it, what are the processes, everything we are going to start with. Now the first thing, what is a fiber? First we should know that what is a fiber. Fiber is a thin strand or thread of a natural or artificial substances, especially one that is used to make cloth or rope is called a fiber. Fiber we can get it from the natural sources, maybe from the plants, maybe from the animals, and artificial means the fibers which are created, which are developed by the humans by different chemicals. Both are giving birth to the fibers, and those fibers are converted into cloth, rope, threads, etc. The thin strands of thread that we are using to make up still thinner strands, the thin strands of the thread that we see, because the thread that you use, or if you tear the cloth, you will see that the threads which are coming, that is not the yarn, that is not that is a yarn, that is not the fiber. If we subdivide those threads also, those thinnest part of the thread is called as fibers. The cloth produced by weaving or knitting these fiber or these yarns are called as fabric. Now we divide the fibers according to its source into two categories. One is the natural, one is the man-made or synthetic. Natural, which you get in the nature; man-made, which is created by the man by using chemical synthetic materials. Now, this classification you all are going to draw in your notebook. Cloths, clothes that we make or that we use. It comes from, or you say that when we talk about the clothes, clothes are made up of fibers, okay, and the fibers are divided into two categories. One is natural, one is synthetic, because the sources of the gathering of these fibers are different. Next we divide the natural. Some we get from the plants, some we get from the animals. Plants, basically we divide cotton, jute, some more examples like flax. Flax is also a plant fibers, and in the animal we will put wool, skin. Children, we will not add leather in this because leather is not any fibers. Leather is just the skin of the animal. Synthetic, we can include nylon, polyester, we can include rayon also. So in this chapter we will do cotton, jute, wool, silk, nylon, polyester. Its processes, how cotton is gathered, how the cotton fibers are converted into threads, how threads are converted into fabric, and then it comes to the market. We buy it and we make different shapes and different types of attires or dresses. Begin with the fiber, the first natural fiber, that is cotton. How the from the picture you can make out, this is the plant of the cotton, and in this cotton plants you can see that the very soft fluffy fibers are growing in the form of balls. You can see that. So cotton is a soft fluffy staple fibers that grow in a bowl and protective case around the seeds of the cotton plants of the genus. The plant cotton plant comes under the category of the genus, means there is certain families. It's called Gossypium, and under the genus of which family? In the Malvaceae. Malvaceae is the family, and Malvaceae family comes under the genus Gossypium. Don't go into this. This is in detail. You will study higher classes. Excuse me. This cotton fiber is made up of cellulose. Now here this you have to know. Cellulose is the basic component of the natural fibers. Natural fibers of which natural fibers? The cotton and jute are coming from the plants. So the basic component of the plant fibers will be cellulose. Okay. Under the natural conditions, the cotton bolls will increase the dispersal of the seeds. Now what happens? These cotton bolls are covering the seeds also. When this cotton bolls matures and it is fully grown, it bursts. It bursts, what happens? The seed also disperses or it scatters nearby, and the cotton fibers also becomes easier, and it also falls here and there, but it becomes more softer and fluffy. Okay, so remember, cotton is a very soft and fluffy fibers that makes it more absorbent. Cellulose makes the water absorbency increased. And cotton plants are growing in a very hot climate. They need hot climate. They need moderate rainfall. They need alluvial soil and the black soil. And the seasons in which the seeds are sown for cotton is May to September, and it is grown by the month of September. In the after October it is harvested. Okay, so under what you need to understand, what type of fibers cotton is. It is a soft fluffy fibers, and it is grows in a bowl. Bowl means around the seed, when it is covered, it is growing like a flower. You can see that this is called as bowl, and when it matures it bursts out and the seeds also disperse, and the fibers also becomes soft and separated. Now it is just a picture to give you the history of the cotton fiber. So the history says the fiber is most often spun into yarn. Yarn is generally thread, children, and used to make soft breathable textile. What is the breathable? That means if in the summers when we wear cotton clothes, we are able to get rid of the sweat. The sweat is absorbed and we feel cool because the sweat is absorbed. The use of the cotton for the fabric is known from prehistoric times. Fragments of cotton fabric dated to 5th millennium BC have been found in the Indus Valley civilization. During from the Indus Valley civilization, the humans are cultivating and using this cotton. You can see that the cotton bolls are collected by this, and they are just taking out and collecting. Later on, it will be done under some processes, and then the fibers will be extracted. fibers will be converted into yarn, yarn will be converted into fabric. You can see that now we start with the process. Here this picture shows you the cotton bolls are growing up on the plant. Now in this step you can see that the females are collecting the cotton bolls from the plant. Okay, now so the process of making cotton from raw fibers to thread, thread to yarn and to the fabric is divided into three steps: preparation, spinning and weaving. This is, you can see that this is the growing, collection, then in this it is separated and the cotton is separated from the seeds. This is the first step of separating, then we will go for the further. So understood, three steps are there: preparation, spinning and weaving. Next is preparation. To be used for the thread or fabric, raw seeds of cotton must be clean and free from debris. Debris means dirt. Seeds, burrs are the little knots if it is present in the fabrics, that also it is separated. Seeds, burrs, dirt, stems, leaf material are removed from the cotton balls, and this process is called as ginning. What is ginning? The process of cotton fibers from the seed, from the bolls, is called as ginning. This is a ginning machine. You can see that here we are feeding. This is the feeder. So here we feed the entire cotton bolls that we separate or collect from the plant, and here it is crushed. After crushing, what happens? The seeds are separated in the two places and the cotton fibers are finally collected here. Okay, understood? Next is spinning. Now we have the raw fibers, only the fibers, no nothing extra. So they are very soft. So what do? We rotate, or you can say twist and turn the fibers together with the help of a spinning machine. That is called as spinning. Okay, a yarn is usually of substantial length. It's not making the full length. Little longer threads are made by the spinning of the fibers together. In the cross section of the yarn, these are generally multiple numbers of staple fibers. Short fibers are twisted together. You can see that they are twisting and they are collecting. This is hand spinner and this is the machine spinner. This is called as takali. Okay, so they are separate, they are twisted together and we make first small length 5 yarns, then it is converted into long threads. Okay, this is called as spinning. Now this is also hand machine, but nowadays many motorized spinning machines are available in the industries, the cotton industries, where the threads are converted from the fibers with the help of modern machines. You can see that this is the modern machine. Yarn made out of staple fibers is known as spun yarn because the staple fibers should undergo number of processes stages so that yarn can be made out of them. This procedure or process stage is correct sequence is called as spinning. Now you see that spinning is going on with the help of machine and huge number of yarns are made in a very less amount of time. Now, when the yarn is converted from the fiber, they are divided into certain categories. Okay, you can see that those are made by twisting staple fibers together into a strand. The length of fiber is limited. There are some types of spun yarn. Number one is the mono yarn. You can see that this is mono means one single thread. So it is solid single strand of unlimited length. Second one is multi-filament. Multi-filament means many continuous filaments with the some twist. Now you can see that this is one yarn. When many yarns are twisted together, this is called as multi-filament. Staple yarn. Staple yarn means many short fibers when twisted together tightly. Two-plied yarn. Two-plied yarn means when two yarns, after making the yarn, when it is twisted together, they are forming two-plied. Multi-plied means when many yarns are twisted together. Thread means when many yarns are very tightly twisted and plied, they are forming the thread. Cord or cable, Many plied threads, when twisted together, they make a thick thread that is called as cord or cable. Okay. Now we go to the next step of the cotton fabric process. This is weaving. What is weaving? Weaving is a method of textile production in which two distinct set of yarns or threads are interlaced at the right angles. Now you know, when this is one thread, this is vertical thread and this is horizontal thread. You can see that in this also, this is the vertical thread going. One second. This is the vertical thread, and in between they are putting the horizontal threads. So this way, crisscross, if it is forming, they are forming the fabric. Weaving is converting the threads into fabric, and other methods of making the fabric is not weaving, they are knitting. Knitting, your sweater is made, crocheting, felting, braiding and plaiting. So there are other methods of making the fabric. They are, other than weaving, are knitting, crocheting, felting, braiding or plaiting. The longitudinal threads are called as warp and the lateral threads are called as weft. This means the long threads are called as warp and the horizontal threads are called as weft or filling. Next we go to the next fiber, that is silk fiber. But this is also natural. But how it is different from cotton? Because cotton is coming from plant source, but silk is coming from the animal source. That is why it will be called as a animal fibers. Okay. So silk is a natural protein fibers. Why I had to say the protein? Because as I said, the fibers which are coming from the plant source, their basic component will be cellulose, but the fibers which are coming from the animal source, their basic component will be protein. Okay, what is the basic component of silk? It is protein. Some forms of which we can be woven into textiles. Protein fibers of silk is composed mainly of fibrin and is produced by the insect larva to form the cocoons. How silk is formed? The silkworm start producing cocoon around it, and inside the cocoon the threads fibers are formed. Okay. Now there are different types of silkworm, and these silkworm produces different types of silk like tussar silk, this is monga silk, kosa silk are produced by the different silk moth. Tussar moth will be different, monga moth will be different and kosa moth will be different. You can see that mulberry silk, the insect is different. Eri silk, tussar silk, monga silk, these are different from each other and they spun different types of silk fibers also, and their look is different, their quality is different. Okay, mulberry silk is the most common. This is the commonest one, okay, which is found in the most parts of the country. Now this you have studied in the lower class, so I would like to add again. Now you can see that this is the adult insect, silkworm, adult moth, and when they mate with each other, they reproduce with each other. In the female moth, eggs are formed and the female moth lays the very tiny eggs. Okay, the tiny black caterpillar hatches out of the egg. So from the egg, what comes out? A very small black color caterpillar comes out, and the caterpillar eats the mulberry leaves. Mulberry is a kind of a plant, of a fruit, and they eat that leaves and they grow bigger and bigger. Now you can see that the caterpillar changes into bigger and finally they form a larva. Okay, so it goes through the 4 months. That means it takes 4 months to convert from a small caterpillar to a larva stage. Now in the larva stage, the caterpillar spins a cocoon around the thread around it. They spin the thread around it, and inside the cocoon, the caterpillar changes into pupa. The black color changes into brown. If we had done the cross section, we have seen that inside they look like a capsule, thready capsule, inside the capsule, the larva changes into pupa. So here, adult, egg, caterpillar, larva, pupa. Now, the people unwind the silk thread from the cocoon to weave into silk cloth. Okay, so what they do, generally these cocoons are boiled. So these cocoons are boiled and the threads are, fibers are separated, and then it is, and the pupa change, or if they easily, and not we are boiling, even the people are trying to, they try to take out the thread from the cocoon and the pupa changes into moth. Sometimes what happens, before we take out the thread, the growth of a pupa changes into moth and it comes out and leaves the cocoon. That means the cocoon, they built it for growth of the larva from to the adult. So when the adults leave the cocoons, that cocoons are used for taking out the silk thread. Now, silk moth to silk. After they laid by the silk moth, eggs are stored into clean cloth paper strips. When larvae are hatched from eggs, they are kept. This is the same thing that I have said. They are kept in the clean bamboo trays with the fresh leaves of mulberry. This is artificially growing. When we see that the silk moth have laid the eggs, we put it on the tray and we leave some mulberry leaves on it. They start eating in the 10 days. They or in the 4 months, the cocoons are formed. You can see that this is the adult. 10 days they lay the egg. The larva changes, larva comes out and the larva eats the mulberry leaves after 4 to 6 weeks. That means after 1.5 months, you can see that the threads are now forming. Larva is there. Now after a few days, the larva is seen into change to cocoons. Cocoons, from the cocoons after 16 to 20 days, the adult comes out and the cocoons are left over. Okay. Now, processes of silk, formation of silk fabric from the fiber, rearing of silkworm, reeling, dyeing, spinning and weaving. Now this way, this is the stages of the rearing. That means the rearing means growing or developing. The silkworms are grown, fed, the larvae are fed with the leaves until the cocoons are formed, and from the cocoons the insect has gone away. Now you can see that from the cocoons which is taken, the cocoons are boiled or steamed to kill the pupa or to loosen the threads. Once it is loosened, it is taken and then the individual filaments are unwounded. That means they are spun, and after spinning they are converted into thread. The threads are woven into, weaving is done, and into fabric they have converted. So this way we convert the silk fiber to the silk fabric. So I will jot down till here only for today. In the next class we will do the wool and the jute fibers. Okay. Thank you, children.